first event of the night then is going to be the women's sprint. We're now at the quarter-final stage, and we of course are going to see 4 heats. Becky James races against Carly McCulloch first, Christina Vogel then against Jinji Zhong. We then see a lineup of Wai Tsi Lee against Stephanie Morton and Virginia Quef against Shuang Guo. So here we are as the riders draw their lots to decide where they are actually going to start. Who leads off first? It's always 2 turned down cards presented to the riders. They turn them over, either says number 1 or number 2. Then that decides where the rider is drawn. If you draw number 1, that means you have to lead off under the rules. As we see Rebecca James of Great Britain there at the front, just doing up the toe straps. Carly McCulloch, the bronze medalist in the team sprint in London 2012, will be the rider racing against Becky James. 2 bronze medals for the British rider so far in these World Championships. Now, these riders have been qualifying throughout the day, and we're now at the quarter-final stage. In qualification earlier on today, Becky James set the fastest time in qualification, which was a personal best as well. Carly McCulloch has got such a magnificent palmarès. She's won so many titles. This is going to be a very, very interesting competition between these 2 riders. To give you the qualification, Carly McCulloch qualified 10th fastest. Becky James was first, 10.957. Carly McCulloch, 11.238. But Carly McCulloch has fought her way through the rounds and now finds herself pitted against Becky James. Let's run through the rules for you. So we have the opportunity for these riders to ride 3 rounds if required. Best of 3 to decide who goes through to the semi-finals. All the losers go through to a ride-off between them all the losing quarter-finalists for 5th to 8th place. Carly McCulloch there on the front. Looking round carefully at Becky James. In between the various qualification heats that we've seen, I noticed that Becky James was wearing the hot pants that Great Britain made a little bit famous during the Olympic Games. Basically, trousers that they put on that have a little power pack on them, and it helps warm the muscles up very, very quickly. Also keeps them warm if needed. Right, we're now starting to see the tactics happen. As we look there for Carly McCulloch, we just lost the riders for a moment. They get the bell. Becky James going alongside Carly McCulloch. Now the acceleration's going to happen. McCulloch on the inside. Becky James looking rapid round that top turn, and she makes that look very, very easy. Becky James wins that one. Big acceleration from the young rider from Wales. Here's the replay then. James looking underneath the armpits just to see where Carly McCulloch is. The answer is nowhere near that wheel. She accelerates away, she takes the victory. 1-0. And Carly McCulloch will have to go now back to the drawing board to try and work out some tactics to make it 1-1 and take it to a decider. Moving on, the next two riders up on the track. This is Jinji Gong of China, silver medalist in the team sprint already during these championships. Silver medalist in the team sprint in London 2012. Pitted against Christina Vogel, the world champion in the team sprint already. Back-to-back titles for Christina Vogel. And Olympic gold at London 2012. In qualification, Christina Vogel was second fastest, 11.057. Jinji Gong was fourth fastest, 11.135. And yet again, it comes down to whether these riders can work this one out in two rides, or whether we need to go to the third if it's one or after two rounds of competition. Vogel leading then. Down on the bottom of the track, now moves up onto the banking at the sides of the track. This is about 9 degrees. Looking around at Jinji Gong, a little bit more acceleration. Goes up to the top of the track to the 42 degrees. Now it eases off a little bit. Christina Vogel, she likes the tussle of a sprint, but she's manoeuvred Jinji Gong now to the lead. She's going to have to get in the slipstream because this Chinese rider's pretty rapid. Christina Vogel making her way around the outside. They're going to go shoulder to shoulder now as they go round the top turn, very close between them. Jinji Gong on the inside in red, but it is Christina Vogel who takes that one. So she goes one up. I was watching Christina Vogel warm up earlier. She spends a long time on the rollers, racing up to the finish there. Dismisses the Chinese rider, and so the team sprint world champion from this year's World Championships safely 1-0 up. The third quarter-final then. Up onto the track comes Stephanie Morton, who was paired with Carly McCulloch in the team sprint. Pilot in the Paralympics, now turned her attention to riding for herself and trying to aim for Rio. This is the, as we switch back here to Stephanie Morton of Australia. She's up against Wai-Chi Li from Hong Kong, China, the world champion in the 500-meter time trial, already in these World Championships. So we know that Wai-Chi Li is on form. In competition, in qualification earlier, Wai-Chi Li was third fastest, 11.070. Stephanie Morton, sixth fastest, 11.172. Stephanie Morton leading away. She's drawn lot number 1. All important to know the rules when it comes to sprinting. The red line is what we call the sprinter's line. And once the sprint opens up and the riders are then racing into the final lap of the race, the first rider to dive inside that red line has to hold it. You cannot come back out of the sprinter's line. And once you've actually dived inside the red line, your competitor cannot try and go inside you. They must overtake on the right-hand side. Stephanie Morton now accelerating. Wai-Chi Li trying to get back on terms, but she's left herself an awful lot to do here. Stephanie Morton is accelerating, but Wai-Chi Li somehow has got back to the slipstream of the Australian. Oh, that was very close indeed. I'm not sure who got that. I think it's going to go to a photograph, and it does, but here's the answer. Who gets it? Look at that. Wide-sea Lee had the acceleration around the top of that banking there, and takes the first race between her and Stephanie Morton. 1-0 to the rider from Hong Kong, China. The little box underneath the saddle is the power meter. There's the photograph showing you exactly the difference between these two riders. Stephanie Morton will be looking to take that to a third ride if she possibly can, knowing that she's got the speed. She wasn't too far away. The next two riders up on the track then, representing France, is Virginie Coeff, the 24-year-old European champion in the team sprint previously and a national sprint champion of France now. Racing against Xuan Guo of China, silver medalist in the team sprint already during these championships, bronze medalist and silver medalist in the team sprint in 2012, and a Keirin silver medalist as well in 2012. A really fierce competitor, has spent a lot of time at the UCI sprint school down in Aigle in Switzerland. Xuan Guo was the rider who was leading off, but Virginie Coeff has decided to go to the front. Every rider will have their own tactics that they have decided upon. They'll either want to be leading this sprint out, or they'll want to be racing from the slipstream of the rider in front of them. They may well decide to go for a long effort, maybe more than a lap, or they may leave it very, very late. All the little tactics that come into play. Steady sprint here. Virginie Coeff now leads off, starts to increase the pace. Xuan Guo, so many medals in World Championships and Olympic Games. Now trying to close up into the slipstream of Coeff of France. Up to the top. Xuan Guo using the banking to very good effect as she dives down and uses the steepness of the banking to go and accelerate that bike. She's going to go shoulder to shoulder with Virginie Coeff. Coeff trying to fight back a little bit, but Xuan Guo is going to make it look pretty easy. And it's 1-0 to the rider from China. An appreciative crowd in here this evening as they watch Xuan Guo power her way to the line. There's the finish. Just a reminder then that so far, after race number 1 of the quarterfinals, Becky James has won race 1 against Carly McCulloch. Christina Vogel, the winner against Jinji Gong. Wide-sea Lee, the winner against Stephanie Morton, and Xuan Guo, the winner against Virginie Coeff.